Top 5 cars you forgot were an initial D. I try to highlight cars that were underrated or cars that were hidden in the background that definitely should have gotten more love. Let me know if I missed a car. Anyways, let's hop right into number 5.
Number 5 is the Suzuki Cappuccino. This car is unfortunately not as cute as a Miata, but it definitely deserves a lot more love. Cappuccino is ranked number 5 because even though it was featured in a main battle of Initial D's sports stage, this car is definitely a very niche car to know. Part of this is likely attributed to the car being a kei jidosha, which quite literally means light vehicle in Japanese. The Cappuccino comes with a compact 650cc 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that produces a whopping 63 horsepower. But with a rear-wheel drive layout and a redline of 8,500 RPM, it's a car you can definitely have some fun with, and on the downhill slopes of a mountain pass, it shouldn't be underestimated. Cappuccino is still extremely underrated here in the States because straight line acceleration is definitely needed to drive on many of the highways. It's nice though that Initial D gave this car some love, because that isn't true for some of the cars later on in this list. If the Cappuccino was shown a bit of love and appreciation, then this next car was briefly acknowledged in Initial D.
Anyways, it is the Toyota Altezza JDM version of the IS300. This car did have a minor battle.
And when I say minor, that might be a bit of an understatement. These battles were kind of disrespectful. This is because in Initial D, battles span multiple episodes. Well, important ones. But in total, between the two battles featured the Altezza, it was a whopping 5 minutes of screen time. The Altezza was driven by some dude that was giving off Predator vibes like the guy Miki. Anyways, he got dispatched by the SIL 80 in like 3 minutes. It was borderline embarrassing. But the next battle was even worse. Takumi in his 8.6 was going about 60% effort and was still gapping this guy. And the battle was over at the first hairpin. Per Ryosuke's strategy, Altezza understeers, and the 8.6 is just gone by the corner exit. Just watch the whole battle. These short and underwhelming battles are what causes most to not even realize that the Altezza was in Initial D, which is a shame because this car had some unique features.
One of the coolest things about the Altezza for me is the BEAMS engine, the 3SGE. BEAMS, it stands for Breakthrough Engine with Advanced Mechanism Systems. It's crazy, right? It turns out that it's just marketing. There was nothing really new about the engine besides the variable valve timing. Definitely overshadowed because the IS300 has the 2JZ, so that's going to get all of the love, and definitely has. So I wish the Altezza got a little bit more love. It would have been cool to see them talk about the Torsen LSD or the torque sensing LSD that the IS300 and the Altezza both have. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. You can't make every single battle a pivotal one. Next car on this list will be Suprising. I think it's not necessarily that the car is underrated or unknown. You could argue that this next car is one of the most famous or most known cars of all time.
Did you catch it? If not, it is the DMC DeLorean. Never got to see this car battle, and it rarely appeared for more than a few seconds at a time. Had to slow these frames down just so we could get a glimpse of it. But it's so cool that the DeLorean is technically an Initial D car, even though it is featured very briefly in the background, and only a few times from what I could find. So I propose that we start calling the DeLorean the Initial D car, because that's what it's known for, not this. Now, at the number 2 spot, it is not the Civic, but the Civic Renaissance Experimental.
A Honda CRX. This car is cool. It may not come very fast from the factory stock, had a lot of potential for mods. I wish we could have seen a full battle of it. However, I believe the reason we didn't is because there's already 2 Civics in Initial D, the EK9 and EG6, so it would have been a little too much overlap in my opinion. There's only so many front wheel drive cars that they wanted to focus on, specifically Hondas. When you see it fully built into a race car, it's really neat.
This thing really looks like it's on rails right now. Like, it is so stable throughout the corners. Absolutely stunning. Now, I'm not asking for a fully built race car in Initial D, but since the JDM version of the CRX, I believe it was the CRX SI, came with a double overhead cam, it would have been really cool to see like a clan of CRXs running down the mountain, even if it wasn't for a battle. CRX was in the show. It shows up a couple times as you guys just saw, but feel like the potential wasn't realized, but beggars can't be choosers. I have a quick bonus car before unveiling the number one underrated / forgotten car. It is, the music might give it away, the Mazda Bongo, better known as the Project D transport vehicles that had tires, tools, anything you could need on the toge. It's not just a transport vehicle, guys. This thing you could live out of. It also comes in variants with a cherry picker on top, so you could pick some fruit on the mountain pass. Mazda Bongo needs more love. Spread the word. The car in the number one spot definitely deserved a battle because this car was way ahead of its time. It is the Mitsubishi 3000 GT or GTO. This car never got a battle and only appeared in the background, which is unbelievable for a car that is arguably one of the most technologically advanced cars to come out of the golden era of automotive manufacturing in Japan. It might as well have been a robot Godzilla. It has twin turbos, all-wheel drive, electronic suspension, and active aero. Now just imagine this car was actually in a battle and all the extra monologue and commentary we could have about all the crazy features on this car. I feel like it was a missed opportunity in my opinion, but I do kind of get it. One of the weaknesses of the GTO is that it is a very heavy car, which isn't really suitable for the toge. However, just look at this thing. I would have loved a hill climb against like Keisuke or something at the minimum, you know? But it is what it is, and I totally get it because I believe that part of the struggle of having a car-based show is that cars are inherently built to have unique features and characteristics that set them apart from the competition. The writer definitely had to consider more elements than just features on the car. The story behind Initial D is what truly makes it special, and while it would have been nice to see some of these cars more, I'm grateful that this legendary show exists. And I hope I showed you some cars that you didn't know were in Initial D. Subscribe for more Initial D content. Let me know what you guys want to see.